nothing to do but to jump in it and see where we land. It's always the fun thing of doing live storytelling. I haven't wrote a story in a hot second of like anything on paper and completion, but like I've outlined a story from start to finish and shared it with someone this week, and they're like, "Wow, this is amazing! You did such a good job." And I'm just like, "Yeah, it's a lot easier to write a story when you can tell what's gonna happen. It's a lot more difficult when it's happening in the moment." So I think that's like one of the coolest things about playing D&D is that this is going to turn out. Who knows? Give me some cool funky music. All right.
Yeah, play
Welcome.
that funky music.
Yeah, we are playing a song that is called East of Tunisia by Kevin MacLeod. In the end of this video, rather, I think in the link of this video, and at the end I always like put the art credits for where the stuff comes from. But yeah, Kevin MacLeod is a gift to the human race. But we are, hello and welcome everybody. Let's start there. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is the Nobles Saga 1, Episode 8 of their campaign. And we are playing in a homebrewed world. It is the world of Ilderon, a world of our own creation. If you want to learn more about it, just copy the name of this video and Google search it. There's a wiki with more information about the world, and we have a website. Everything you are going to see tonight, like we were saying at the start of this broadcast, is going to be live storytelling. Nothing you're going to see is scripted, and things can land in any direction. If you are joining for the first time and you want to communicate with us, it's incredibly difficult for me to read the YouTube live feed as the session is being broadcasted. There's a link in the description of this live stream, and if you go and click it, you can join our Discord. And in the Discord, we've got a channel called Live Campaign, and if you type, it will appear right here in this box I'm pointing to, in which I can see it a lot easier, and I might be able to respond to you significantly quicker. Like this. Oh, such a good display, E. See, I saw it immediately as he posted it. So yeah, that's how you communicate with us. Finally, if you're under the age of 14 and you're watching this, please go talk to your parents, because this session might include stuff that's inappropriate for you. Will likely include stuff that's inappropriate for you. If Jackal doesn't drop the F-bomb at least once, I will return everybody's money, even though nobody's paid
Wait, how much money are we talking here?
$0.
How much fucking money did you take from me?
Okay, look, there it goes. We're good. We're golden. Which is why I put that warning at the top of every session. Anyways, let's jump into the recap since we're running a little bit late. It's on me for starting late tonight. I was doing shenanigans and it just pushed my prep work back. So I'm going to fly through the recap as quickly as I can. Man, I think I could do this in 7 sentences. The party went to the Chantry of Harmony for the convocation, or for the Congregation of Minds. While there, they had to rest and absorb some of the information that was given to them, and a group of the party sat out on the piers, while another group went in and began collecting information and scouting. The group that sat out on the piers got approached by a strange man. The strange man informed them of a fountain that exists on the other part of the country that can allegedly cure any curse. It is a... wait, I don't want to say that because that's one of the sentences I'll need. Moving past... Oh, God, that's a sentence too. The group of the party that went inside... I'm not going to do it in 7 sentences. I'm at 5 and I only have 2 more. All right, never mind. So the party that went inside...
Big fight, big dumb, everyone mad.
Yeah, the party that went inside...
A lot of people got pissed off.
But a party that went inside was they scouted for information, and they found out the convocation was being called to try and decide what Valryr's words meant. Valryr is the ascended god of Earth. He is a sleeping god, and he has not said anything in about 500 years. And he spoke for the first time in his sleep the words, "She'll free him." The party was led to a table, and they all had the opportunity to contribute their ideas to the grand discussion that was happening in the other room. If they contributed an idea worthwhile of merit, they could explain it to one of the greater scholars and defend their case and possibly get invited into that discussion. Maria and Kenneth began scribing ideas back and forth and sending the Sagite that was attending to them to deliver them. Meanwhile, Claw sent his pet to scout and look for Galesong the god while the rest of the party prayed and spoke and tried to speak to Galesong, to no avail, as the snake wasn't intelligent enough to know what Ascended God of Air looks like, and Galesong is a very elusive god who tends to tell his followers to be self-sufficient. From there, we jump back over to the group that was outside. They got into a tizzy about the strange man that came and talked to them about the fountain before they all decided to come inside. Asuandria was able to... and actually before this moment happened, right before this, it turned out that Marlena Bertolf and Weston Rindle, Lieutenant Weston Rindle, were at the convocation. They were talking to various influential scholars and councilmen who were there, encouraging, and nobles, encouraging them to encourage the local councilmen to call the summit of the leagues, so that Weston would have a chance to become magnate. While politicking, they talked to the party briefly, and as Asuandria and the rest of the party came back inside and connected, they informed her of Marlena being there, and Asuandria went off to talk to Marlena and try and resolve this situation. After catching up with Asuandria and seeing that she had drawn a small crowd to herself, she got Marlena to agree to sit down and have a meeting with the current magnate, Ariana Bertolf, the leader of the country. In exchange, if she did that, Asuandria would come back to the palace. Although she didn't say if she would stay at the palace. That's worth noting. And as the party was collecting their stuff to leave, one of the Sagites came and found Kenneth and Maria and asked them to defend their suggestions to one of the scholars who read their suggestions. The exact nature of what Kenneth and Maria suggested is slipping my mind, but I believe it was to the extent that Maria suggested that there were things that were so bad inside of Valryr's nightmares that they bordered on realness, and that kind of caused her dad to talk in his sleep, and maybe that was what was happening to Valryr. And for Kenneth, I think he was warning that a possible cult might be working to some nefarious ends to free Gendoi. After pressing Kenneth a little further, the scholar was able to get at least some substantial information from them, and said that she'll summon them if she needs more information. The party then all left and started walking back inside of the city. Going back through the city gates, they came across several groups of emissaries, different emissaries from different regions that Ariana had banned from the city, were camping out outside of the city. There was a group of Red Axe emissaries that were banned from the city that were camping out in the north, and there was also a servant of the provincial lord of Demon's Door, which is a region of Arder Sarai. The servant was being harassed by these Red Axe emissaries, as the servant had succumbed to demonic influence, as it had physically altered her body. And Red Axe is a nation that openly endorses the religion of Gendenfeld, which the rest of the world would simply describe as dances with demons, and they were enamored with her, with the demonic influence on her body, even though it didn't seem to be much of a thing to the emissary. The party helped the emissary, or helped the servant of Demon's Door get away from all of the diplomats, and talking to her, she asked the party for a favor, as she had been sent by the provincial lord Thean Ira Alla, which is a very powerful demon lord who is now in control of Demon's Door. Ira Alla had given Asu Andrea, or had sent Asu Andrea an Oathblade, proposing to enter into open relationships with her, and the Oathblade was intercepted by Ariana, the current celestial magnate, and Asu Andrea's mom. And Ariana did not give Iraala a response to the Oathblade, nor did she let Asu Andrea formally accept or decline it. Aiden, the servant of Demon's Door, has come to get a formal reply. She was told to either return with the princess or return with the Oathblade, as it is a very valuable item, as Ira Alla is a demon of greed, and she does not deal in anything not worth anything. That's a lot of anythings. All right. So with that, it is the evening of the 24th of Noble. The party is at the city gates of Arder, and I don't think I'm going to time skip anytime, and I'll say you guys are walking through the city gates across the bridge that leads into the city proper buffer before you get to the mainlands of the capital. The entire party is together, and I think I'll just ask, what do you want to do?
Anderson.
Yes.
Mind if I talk to you real quick?
Sure. What do you need to talk about?
Are you okay?
I got in an argument with Sedora out there, and things got pretty heated. I didn't mean the things I said. I got really angry, and then she punched me. But I kind of deserved it.
Just maybe apologize to her. I know she's a...
You cut out there.
I said maybe you should apologize when you can. I know she can be a hothead, but we're still friends, and I don't want any bad blood between us. I'll talk to her. Yeah.
Maybe later tonight. I let her cool down first, or something. I don't know.
If you need to talk, just let me know, okay?
Thanks. I just got a lot on my mind.
Yeah, I think we all do. It's been kind of crazy the last few days.
We'll talk, just not here. Just like later. And I'm gonna walk off.
Okay.
Well, I say walk off. I want the conversation to be done.
Yeah. Just rejoin the group. You can walk back with them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I guess as we're walking in. I was gonna ask everybody, where are we going now? It's getting kind of late. Well, it's
Where are
gonna
we
be
going
dark
now?
soon. So,
Well,
I'll see. I
wanna-
know you want to avoid the. Oh God, words escaping me. Keep palace. Yeah. I know you want to avoid going back home for various reasons, but we do have to take Maria back.
If you, yeah, if you say that to her, she is going to nod and say, well, as far as I know, my grandmother's always liked me, so I don't see any reason why she wouldn't go straight back to the palace. We can hang out for a few more hours on the street, and then she's gonna exhale and say, I'll go back to the palace and honor my word.
I'll say, you really need to speak with your parents, get them to talk to you about what's going on. They're tiptoeing around you and the situation, probably to keep you safe, but they're gonna have to realize sooner or later that's not gonna be good enough. I know that you want to know, and them hiding it is gonna make things worse. You already know most of the truth.
Anthony, were you talking?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I turned you down
Yeah.
because I was getting some background noise from you, but I can hear you now.
Sorry.
Can you say that again?
I said maybe you should talk to Auntie Raina, see maybe she can be an intermediate between that all, because that's going to be a hard conversation otherwise. You should probably apologize for turning her into a toad anyway. She's probably not too happy about that.
I get that, but
Yeah, Astro is going to nod to that, and she's gonna roll a morality die. And she's going to look to Lumilia and kind of just like look down, brush her hair behind her ear, and say, I'm sorry for dragging you to that. And no, you probably don't want Raina mad at you either.
It's alright. I know you meant well.
We're friends. We don't mind helping you, but you gotta let us know when one needs something like that done, okay?
She's gonna nod again as you're walking and say,
you have faith, don't you?
we are gonna be spending so much time this evening just cleaning up my messes. I've gotta get better at this. And as you're walking through the city proper, she's gonna look around and say, maybe if I'm more responsible, I can go outside more often. I mean, we are on the streets of Ardor.
Yes, out on the streets. Breathe that fresh air.
Brendan, is there any like street food vendors around?
You know, it's very interesting that you would ask that, because I just rolled that die. I was setting the parameters for it in my head, but I'll let you. Do you want high in your favor or low in your favor?
Let's go high.
It just so happens you
Holy
are
shit.
in luck. There are street vendors around. And I have to look at the Ilderon. I have to look at the Ilderon time thing.
Delicious fried.
Say that again?
It's a delicious fried street food.
Yeah. let's see. So it is the 25th of Noble. It is getting... well, it's technically past all of the really cool holidays. And I was just seeing what type of food would be available on the street. So yeah, today it wouldn't be anything like amazing. Definitely out here in the city proper, there from this river area, there would be people bringing in foods from the farms from the Chantry of Harmony. Definitely traders coming in from the north with different foods and imports from of things that can be preserved from Gwir. And probably some people with like wild game that they are selling as quick treats of like overly charred cooked meat and shish kebabs with, you know, maybe a couple vegetables on skewers. Not the most tasty things, but definitely things you could trade like a few copper for a snack.
Do you really want to pay?
Can I get like
plenty of money.
10? How many people are in the group right now?
Red Lobster.
We could do red dot.
There are 6 plus... Oh, hold on. Actually, I can count. There's 6 plus 2 of you. There are 8.
As long as you count my snake as part of me.
Yes. Is Anderson or is Alexander buying some for everyone?
Yeah, I was gonna get like
I'll
2
call you back
apiece.
in a few minutes.
Okay. So you're getting 2 apiece per person?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to cost you 7 times 8 pieces of copper.
$56.
Hey, 56. 5 silver and 6 copper.
I'll throw him a gold.
Just being the noble, just throwing money around.
All right. I feel like at that point he's going to. Does he have anything else he can give you with this? No, he doesn't. All right, yeah. So just passing by this vendor, you give him a whole gold. You are able to buy 16 skewers of hunted and charred meat for everybody, and there are different vegetables, and it would likely be some sort of gourd or squash on here, like either diced pumpkin or diced like eggplant. That would be cooked with this meat. And as you hand it to Asu Andrea, she's going to take it and look excited and say, "I've never had cheap food before." As she takes a bite of it. It's enough to stop your stomach from rumbling. It's leather with it's essentially leather with broccoli or asparagus added to it.
Well, I was gonna share some of the meat with his snake occasionally. Like pulling it off of the skewer and, you know, holding a piece one hand while the snake's wrapped around his neck.
Okay. Yeah, and the snake will actually eat this meat. very, very timidly. As it doesn't need to eat that often. It more so eats big meals occasionally.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like a real steak.
Yeah. Right. I'm thinking of this more like a raptor where you do feed it semi-daily, but it's not. But offering it to make sure that it's well fed before.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not overfeeding her.
Otherwise, though, Maria's going to take this and eat it, and Maria seems completely fine. And she's going to say, Dad used to always watch the coin purse, never let us kill any of the livestock. He always ate oat and wheat and different. And
She's vegetarian?
I didn't take Oro for vegetarian, especially Oro.
Oh crap, I need to redo my recipes.
Maria,
I'm
no,
gonna look
is eating this. She is eating it. She doesn't seem put off by its cheap quality.
But if she's never had meat, she probably shouldn't eat much of it in one go, so I shouldn't do my heavy
No,
meat
not that
recipes.
she's never had meat. She's probably had it occasionally. Oro was just a penny pincher.
Yeah, I'll look at us, see as she's eating, and I'll say, well, if you're going to be traveling on the road with us, you got to get used to this kind of food.
The only other person I would invite to
And
do
I also,
Mother's Day-
realizing Maria's standing there with us, I reach into my bag and I pull out the cloak I found from the house of hers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm like,
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to give this
and
back to you
before,
till now.
let's do Mother's Day.
Where would we do it?
yeah, and Maria's gonna take that and look a little bit surprised and say, Danaganya made us abandon so much stuff at that house. And
Didn't we burn that house? Wait. Didn't
No.
we burn that house when we were done?
No,
No.
you did not.
I
Oh, we
wanted
only talked
to.
about it. No, that's in character, by the way, when you mentioned that. It's kind of like
Okay.
nonchalantly like eating it and then like kind of. Didn't we burn that house when we left?
No.
No, that
It's
might have
chewy.
been a weird dream that you had.
I remember a lot of talk about like wanting to burn it down.
Yeah, Maria's
I
going
don't
to
remember that at
look at the cloak and say, well, we didn't have much of anything. She throws it over and says, nothing really sentimental about this one, but I'm thankful for it. As you guys are saying that, also Andrea will pipe up and say, my mom hires chefs all the time at the palace. We don't have to eat like this. We could bring one of them along with us.
Actually, I was thinking I could start making the meals.
We have our own personal chef. Points to Amelia.
And she'll kind of just smile, like, I think I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, and I think also Andrea would light up and say, they teach that in the chantry?
No, but I'm learning.
You could learn too.
Also Andrea's going to wave her hand and say, there are other duties that a princess has. I was told that's the reason we have servants for those matters. Not that you are a servant. She
Don't
catches her
worry,
word.
I know. But if you ever want to learn to cook, you can.
Doesn't hurt to ever have skills that you might not need at the moment, but could be useful later.
And Maria's just gonna nod and say, yeah, Dad taught me how to use the sword. Even though the only thing that ever came around our farmhouse was the wolves.
Oh, that reminds me. Claw's gonna head to Alexander? Yeah, Alexander, and hand him back the silver sword. When I head home, I probably shouldn't have this.
as you hand like that back to that back to Alexander, Maria's gonna look at it and say, "Look, it's Ardor Sarai. We're the nation of heroes. Your parents don't want you to have a weapon unless they have something against silver. What are you guys, like werewolves or something? It's crazy."
Lemilia's gonna raise her eyebrow and look at Claw.
That's what we call a nat 20 on an insight check.
Oh boy, Claw's just going to state there are a few individuals close to me that are allergic.
Hey, what are you doing?
Allergic. That's the word we're gonna go with.
I mean, I'm not wrong. His dad does get a rash whenever he touches silver with his bare skin,
It's not bad.
and also gets the sneezes like crazy.
Alright, it's time for our second morality die of the night.
Oh boy, do I have to roll a deception check on that, or
No,
or
you don't
did
have to roll a
Okay.
deception check.
Okay.
Maria is going to murmur under her breath before finally speaking up and say, "So, you know the werewolves people are always complaining about?"
Claw's gonna take a slow look around. Does anybody seem to be paying attention to him?
As you guys
Oh,
are walking
to the-
through the city proper?
Right, yeah.
Not really.
Claw's gonna give a slow nod. I know them quite well. They're quite nice once you get to know them.
She's going to furrow her brow and say, "Mid-month they eat everything in sight in the western fields. Quite not nice if you're trying to keep a herd alive."
Some of them do get lost when they try and leave to make sure they don't attack anybody. But that's why we try and avoid heavily populated areas.
She's gonna nod and say, "Well, if you ever wondered why nobody lives in Firtar Hamlet, there's your answer."
Yeah. My dad and sister are really heavily trying to work on making it less scary for everybody involved.
Sounds like it's a work in progress.
My dad's gotten his side a little bit controlled. Mom's is still, well,
Hi, Tina.
I'm sure as things go on, it'll be a lot easier to deal with it.
just gets really quiet at home every full moon. So,
There's one coming up, isn't there, Claw?
it's tonight.
You gonna be alright?
I can't get infected, but I'm not planning on heading home tonight, at least. Stay around here for another night before I head back home.
Mom said you're welcome to stay at the house anytime.
I think I might take her up on that.
Also, Andrea is going to speak up to Maria and say, "We kind of have this little game going on who's the most cursed. So far, Anderson's winning. He dreams of shatterers."
Wait, what? When do we start playing this game? I'm not aware of this.
A while ago, we didn't tell you.
Claw, at this point, is going to look at Maria, lower the bottom part of his mask for a moment, and then pull it back up. Just kind of showing her.
I don't give a shit.
I think we've already seen your face before.
She hadn't.
Maria hasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
At which point, Maria's going to be a little bit shocked seeing that. And let's see. Where is Maria Oswin? There we go. When you do that, she's going to gesture back towards the city gates and say, so that lady with the snake hair, it's nothing new to you guys.
Oh goodness, no, that's the first time I've ever seen something.
Oh, like no, that's new to us.
I'm gonna roll a history check to see if I've ever encountered somebody like that, because my tribe does seek sanctuary for people that use themselves as cursed.
It's just that, you know, we're not rude like those people from Red Axe.
No.
Scale pride.
I've personally never seen one like her, but where I'm from, we take in anybody who's afraid, wants a safe place to stay. Well, anybody that's not going to damage us or make us less, well, have a harder time avoiding individuals.
Maria's gonna shrug and say, you know, I used to think like Danaganya. She said ever since the Magnite gave a fifth of the country to that demon, the whole country's going to the bridge in a handbasket. But I'm not sure how much I can lean on her teachings anymore.
It's a good idea to make your own decision.
Now you have plenty of time to.
And so Andrea's gonna chip in and say, besides, Mom's smart. She knows what she's doing.
I guess actually she'd probably be your new stepmom, Maria.
Morality die!
Or you don't have to call her that if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I understand tense
Maria
relations with
is,
stepmoms.
yeah, Maria's gonna like cringe. It's like, I don't have a good history with stepmoms right now. I'm 0-2.
That's fair.
Fair. I'd say give her a chance though. She seems like a fierce lady, but I think she has the best interest. She has the best interest at heart, at least Vessandria, and when she gets to know you, probably you too. So, you know, you want a mom that'll probably raise an army to try to get you back. You know? Can't do any worse.
Alright, I feel like the conversation would kind of like teeter on small topics. Is there anything major anybody wants to bring up before you arrive back at the castle?
We're gonna wear pajamas for our lunch.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. So, outside of the gates of Zenith Rise, as you guys are coming up the palace concourse, there are, well, let's see, how well staffed is this? Because I feel like any knight who can be out right now would be out searching for Asuandria. Outside, currently the gates are down. However, there are guards here. People from what's the place? Storm's Nest, the military bastion inside of town. People from the Royal Army actually here guarding the castle, which is a very strange sight. Moving around it, as most of the knights that help man the castle and keep it safe are likely out looking for Asuandria. That said, they don't immediately recognize Asuandria walking up the palace concourse with the rest of the party, as the As the party is walking up the palace concourse, though, Asuandria is going to stop in stride and pull the party together for a huddle about 70 or so feet from the gates along, the merchant's concourse out here. And as the party comes together, she's going to say, it's very likely that I won't be allowed to leave for some time. I have to share something that interests me. While we were at the Chantry, Stradora Anderson and I came across some interesting information, at which point Stradora is going to roll her eyes and go, the strange man who came up and told us about the fountain that can cure anything that you need. Asuandria is going to nod and say, it's a magical fountain said to spring waters once every 10 years, or once every 5 years. Its waters have amazing healing properties. Everybody in this country's tried their way to cure me, and I think I'd like to try mine. If I can't go after it, perhaps if I organize something for all of you as my friends, could you secure me their waters? I'd love to experiment and see what I could do with them.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
It's like, yeah, we could go bottle some.
I'd be happy to go as long as I don't need to do anything here. Kind of glancing at Maria.
Maria, with another insight check.
That sounds like
Please don't break that. It's the last one I have.
Stradora would be the first one to... Anthony, I'm getting a lot of background noise from you. Do you think you could go to push to talk for tonight? And now if you said anything, I didn't hear you. But,
sorry, I'm trying to keep my mic muted when other...
Okay, that's cool. Stradora is going to speak up and say, we're not just going to charge halfway across the continent after some rumor. We can collect more information on it, and it turns out it's real, and there are credible sources that can support this, and we can discuss this. Does that sound fair to everybody?
I mean, I'm honestly with Stradora here. Like, yeah, strange man comes out of nowhere, but it's going to be a good idea to double check.
Well, we haven't to even look at to begin searching for that information.
Might be able to find something in one of the archives in the Kelkin office. Magical anomalies such as this should be pretty well preserved in their wheelhouse.
That's a good start.
I'll go ahead and help start looking through those then once we're done here.
Yeah, and
We'll probably have to get a good night's rest.
And if my dad was looking for a cure for this curse years ago, he might have looked into something in regards to that.
Alright. With that, I think Asuandria is going to nod and turn around and start walking towards the gate. Does the party follow her?
Sure.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. At which point she is going to speak to all of the royal army guards that are in front of the gate. Let's see, Princess Asuandria Bertolf, first and only daughter of celestial magnate Ariana Bertolf. I have not been kidnapped, I attended the Convocation of Minds and the Changery of Harmony. I'm here to see if Lieutenant Marlena Bertolf has arrived at the palace. The royal guards are not going to answer her question and instead say, the magnates put out an order to have you captured and brought back to the palace as soon as possible. Come on, princess, we'll take you to her.
Overprotective again.
Yeah. At which point, the guards are going to form ranks around her, opening the gate, leading her inside. How close is the party to her?
I'd say
Yeah,
Paul would be right behind her.
okay,
I would say, like,
yeah.
we were relatively close. Like,
The
you
party
know.
is in this formation as they
Oh,
form
it's
ranks,
like, no, they're not
yeah.
going to shoo us away. It's like, no, you're coming too. It's like, oh, okay.
And I tell him, hey, be sure to tell Lord Asuin, his daughter Maria is here too. Thanks, fellas.
Well, you'll have a chance to tell them yourself.
Oh, good. You are horrible at your job, sir.
Just so I know, what's the age of arrest for this kind of stuff, guys?
Are you breathing? You are at the age of arrest.
Well, when I was imprisoned, I was like 12. Oh,
Oh,
I don't think I've ever been arrested before.
I love these.
Uh,
That's my blood.
Maria's going to look over at Kenneth and say, "You were in prison?"
I was
Yeah.
falsely accused of kidnapping.
She looks to Maria, or not Maria, and looks to Asuandra and say, "Does he have a curse of luck?" Asuandra's going to shrug.
Party of curses.
Ooh.
Dodora's just sitting there going, I'm cursed knowing these people.
Like, yeah, we
You're
go.
cursed. Dodora's cursed of association. I'm cursed with half lycanthrope. Oh god.
Amelia's just having a great
I've
time.
never performed crimes until today.
It's not true. You've been committing crimes with us for the last 3 or 4 days.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I've never committed crimes until I met you people.
Amelia's just happy to be here.
I think, according to some people, I'm a crime just existing.
You're a crime to nature.
If look on the bright side, Claw, you might not have to stay over at my house tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be in prison instead.
Spend a nice night in jail.
All right, heading into Central Rise. The petitioner chambers are almost empty here as Listelia is going through the last of people seeking aid from the palace. At which point, she's going to, the steward, Listelia, is going to perk up from the raised table in the center of this room and say, "Princess, your mother is currently in a high council meeting, but I'll interrupt her."
Like, I'm sure she has time for this.
She'll look to the soldier and say, "Take the princess to her quarters. I'll let the head diviner and the magnate know that she's returned." The soldier's gonna look towards the princess and say, Your Highness, where's your quarters at?" Asuandria is going to begin leading the way. And the party's still here. She'll turn to the party and says, no need for you to be imprisoned with me. You wanna leave now, I wouldn't blame you. I'll likely just be sitting in my room until Mom comes to yell at me.
Well, if you want one of us or all of us to come with you, so you're not alone, I don't mind, but I think a giant group of people, including, let's see, 1, 2, 3 guys, might not look the best in this situation. 4 guys?
3 guys and 2 gay girls. Maybe not.
4 guys, because Claw.
I'm gonna roll a morality die for Stradora. Stradora does not feel too peeved about sitting in the princess's room with her.
We didn't think she would.
No one
We
said
don't-
she would.
We don't feel safe having Stradora in there, though.
If you want, like, Maria, Lumilia, Shadora to go up with you.
Maria, do you want to stay here or head to find Oro?
Oh my god, you're like giving me ideas!
He probably won't. He'll show up with Ariana.
I got a big deal. I got told it.
We don't know that he's in the meeting. He could be somewhere else.
Here's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the last you guys saw of Oro, he said the princess had been kidnapped and ran off.
Flowers for the middle of the table. Yeah.
So it's very likely that he's not here.
We'll get a thing.
Alright, so Stradora, Lumilia, and Maria are heading up to Asuandria's room. And what's the other half of the party doing?
Totally.
Guess I'll look to them and say, well, fellas, that's us now.
We all have to
Like, so now what?
I cannot take any of you to a bar. What do we do?
Go find
Okay, I'm
Oro.
drinking age.
Is there a drinking age in order?
Yeah,
Wait,
drinking age is like 18,
Yes,
for
they just
sure.
don't care.
Ooh. Kenneth, Claw, and Kenneth, Claw, Anderson, and Alexander. Well, no, the whole party is entitled to this. You all can get a free perception check
That's good. Yeah.
as you are being led through the various halls of the castle.
Wow.
It's
Okay. Not much different than my passive, but okay.
Alright,
I have to take off my
so
Next same.
Lumilia is entitled to this if she wants.
Ooh.
Same thing with Anderson, Jackal, if you want.
Okay.
But what Claw and Lumilia are definitely going to notice. There are patrols inside of the castle, however, not as frequent as when the knights were in here, and the patrols are only a few guards or soldiers. People definitely not as well trained as the knights of the castle. Going by some of like the diviner's quarters or things like that, you might see an occasional like knight posted up. But for the most part, the castle is less protected and guarded than it's normally been in the few times you've been here. That said, I think I'll give Kenneth a free insight check on that information. Actually, Kenneth didn't get it. If anybody chooses to share that with the rest of the party, I'll give Kenneth a free insight.
I will.
Hey, honey.
Okay. Do you just like whisper it to Kenneth? Just like there are less people here or something?
Yeah.
Okay. On that, I'll give Kenneth a free insight check.
Okay. I do better here. Nope.
All right.
Nice.
That information is present on Kenneth's mind. What that means for, potentially activities at the castle or, around the rest of the city is a little foggy. Whatever you put together as a player, though, you are able to. Otherwise, the rest of the party is going to, or the other half of the party is going to arrive at the princess's room. It is on the 3rd floor of the Magnate's Keep, or above the Magnate's Keep. It is a lavish chamber, and it is only a small walk from the stairwell of the Sage's Tower.
Would I be able to roll another insight check, like just, I guess, counts that as a later point in time?
For what? Putting,
Or,
doing stuff with this information that I gave you? Yeah, sure. I'll say in a half hour's time, can you roll it again?
Okay, so would now be a good time to roll that? I guess just wait.
No, it was not a half hour's walk. To get
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know like you
10
mean to
minutes
roll
at
it now.
most.
I didn't know if you meant like to roll it now and then later on when it's half an hour is when it hits.
Yeah. I'll call for you to roll it whenever it becomes relevant again. All right. So, what does Anderson, Kenneth, Claw, and Alexander want to do?
It was just Lumilia, Zerdora, and Maria that went up with Sundria, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming all of you guys were like led towards her quarters.
Yeah.
And
All
you
the
know,
gals.
yeah, the girls walked in.
Oh,
and-
wait, so it's just me and NPCs.
Yeah, the girls walked
Yeah.
in, and
Okay, we're outside.
the-
Okay.
Yeah, guys are just kind of standing outside the door.
Okay. Well, guys. Anything?
Part of me wants to try and figure out why Marlena wants Weston to be in charge over her Magnate.
So, like, Dradora
as-
knows quite a few people, and I'm assuming you guys too. You don't happen to know, like, who, like, this Weston guy, like, really well, do you?
Did he? I don't know. This is gonna be a bit of a stretch. Did Weston ever come to my dad's shop for like a tailoring of anything?
Sure, let's roll a percentage die on that. No, he did not.
No.
Would Mia and Claw have heard any stories about Winston from our fathers?
I'll roll you another percentage die on that, but I'm going to roll it separately for each one of you with a different factor for Anderson and a different factor for, or Alexander and a different factor for Kenneth, as Claw was more willing to share and Celebrus was off being avenging the Uchiha clan. I'm kidding. It turns out that Celebrus actually did share this story with Alexander one of the few times that he was back home. And what Alexander knows about Weston is kind of a upstart. Was sentenced to death by the Magnate for assassinating a very prominent figure inside of Ardorian politics, and the Magnate spared his life, and in turn had kind of became close with the Bertolf family. Celebrus doesn't know much of what happens to him, but what happened to him, but Celebrus did have respect for Weston, always claiming, he's either a good kid or a good guy.
I don't know too much about him. I know years ago, back during that whole Civil War thing, they told us about Weston was sentenced to death originally because he killed a prominent
general. It was a general.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom.
from the other side, I guess, for some treason or something. But I guess they figured, or they canceled that, and he became pretty close with Oral, and then I think he was a squire of Oral's.
That sounds about right. I remember my dad was mentioning he was occasionally looking at. Oh, actually, what?
As you guys are talking, by the way, one of the guards outside of Asu Andrea's room is going to pipe up and say, I saw the sergeant and the lieutenant. They came in the Zenith Rise almost about an hour before each of you did. Said they had important business with the magnate. I think they're in the diplomat's quarters waiting.
Would it be
Oh, okay then.
just too facetious of us to go talk to them?
You're asking the soldier?
Yeah.
The soldier, who is not it's worth saying, he's not a noble. He's not a knight. He doesn't know these, and he's gonna scratch his head and say, we're not ordered to come in and protect the palace much. Aren't you nobles all Soul Sarai? Can't you summon an oath of communitaken? Sir, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, sorry, I don't my nobleness too much to that effect. I guess could try that.
Willow, you asked a question.
What's a Soul Sarai again?
What we are.
Soul Sarai is the rank that you are. It is a rank of nobility.
Right.
It is a high. It's one of the higher parts of the caste system of Ardor. Soul Sarai becomes a Soul Sarai when they either gain land or they gain another family that swears an oath to defend or work with their family. The family, that swears the oath becomes Soul Sworn, and the family that gets the oath becomes Soul Sarai. And again, Willow, for your notes, Lumilia outranks all of these people as a Sagite. She is a part of the Chantry, the Four Ascended.
Right. I'm higher rank than all of you, except maybe Stradora and also Andrea. Probably. Princess.
Stradora doesn't have a rank.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She's a princess.
Well,
Not really.
yeah.
They actually don't technically have princesses in a Womagai.
She's a pseudo princess.
She's a princess and basically a.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just for the sake of information for you, Willow, you would loosely be above everyone, since you're a sage would be a caste. It would be a whole class, above everybody else, and you are an apprentice of a sage, which is like it puts you on their rank, but you're in the position to move up higher than them, whereas other people don't really have the opportunity to advance past Soul Sarai. Unless you kill an appointed council member, but who would do something like that?
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
feel
like
like
8
any
of
of us
those
would do
died
it.
last campaign.
Wait, like it's totally like that happened at all.
Yeah,
Was that
Weston
all?
killed an appointed council member. But yeah. Anyways, I'll stop making sillies.
So we can either talk to Marlena and Weston, or we could try looking into that information we were thinking of. We could even talk to Raina if she's here.
Wouldn't hurt.
She might have information on that fountain too. She is the head diviner, so she would have access to lots of knowledge and stuff here in the country that we put in. And you said yourself, Kenneth, you and Strador both said a more credible source. I don't think it gets much more credible than that.
Yeah, if you Want to go ask her? You seem much more familiar with her. That'll probably be easy.
Good girl.
You guys feel like talking to Arena and then maybe about talking to Marlena and or Weston?
Go, Pepper. Pepper, go.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea.
Do you know if the head diviner is in? Talking back to the guard.
Does he know if the head diviner's in? He's gonna roll an investigation check. Thinking on it, he's going to nod and say, I believe her and her diviners have been assisting the knights magically. They should be in their quarters scrying. I'm not really certain how magic works, though.
Oh, okay. Well, we can probably relieve them of their duties since motions towards the door. Here.
Oh, free information that I'm giving everyone. Listelia did say she was going to let Reyna know, or let the head diviner know, and the magnate that the princess has returned. It's likely to assume she's here.
We hear stomping in the halls.
You know, I actually rolled you guys a check on that. It'll become relevant when it becomes relevant.
So I guess we'll start heading towards the Sage's Tower.
I will follow out of curiosity. I've never been in the palace. Well, I've been in the palace one night.
Okay, and you're heading to the Sage's Tower to find Reyna. Is that the decision? Because just as a information to the players, she actually has quarters inside of the office quarters.
But they said that she was in the divine. That's the Sage's Tower, isn't it?
No, they divine in their office.
Oh, okay.
The Sage's Tower is essentially where Anna's place of residence is, and where the magnate goes to get counsel from the Sage of Ardor.
That's right. Sorry, my bad. So no, we would head to the diviner's office.
And it's very interesting. I just want to note.
Yes, it became relevant.
Yeah, I just want to note that it's a very interesting point in history for Ardor Serai that normally the Sage does live at the palace in the Sage's Tower at Zenith Rise, but it's a very rare point where the Sage is the mayor of Ardor Serai, essentially, and is also on the High Council. So Anna's pulling a double duty of giving advice and giving advice.
She gives herself the advice.
Anyways, heading to the offices and diplomat quarters. As you guys are heading towards the offices, you are going to see a very angry, surreal Renopal stomping down the hallway, moving directly past you guys.
You know,
Auntie Reyna.
I'm gonna step away and move out of her way.
Fireball. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, what?
We'll come back to you guys as she pauses upon hearing that name and turns her head. Jumping over to the party inside the room. A couple minutes pass as idle chit chat between Maria and Asuandria and Stradora of, the lavishness of Asuandria's room, all the different things she'd have available in here, a whole essentially study for books, an area for her to practice her magic and spell reagents splayed out over everywhere, and
cool.
Yeah, and after a few minutes of oh, you got this, oh wow, you got this, eventually the door opens with with no knocking or anything, stepping into the room with a knight following her, you are going to see Celestial Magnate Ariana Bertol.
Wish me luck, guys.
Don't look directly. She can smell fear.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Without any words, Ariana walks directly to Alsuandria and embraces her, wrapping her in a hug so incredibly tight. You're curious if Alsuandria is even breathing.
Is she Is this just a weird way of strangling someone, or?
Shh, this is a good start.
Yeah. After almost a minute of this embrace, Alsuandria is going to say, "Mom." Ariana is going to speak up and say, "When your father said you'd been kidnapped on the streets, I sent every soldier, every knight out of this castle to go find you, and you're here, and you're safe. Oh God, by the gods, you're safe." You guys ready for the Good Princesses Don't Lie? Check.
Oh no.
Good Princesses
Here
Don't
we
Lie.
go.
Good princesses don't lie.
Alsuandria is going to...
But I kind of wish they did.
Yeah. Speak up and say, I wasn't kidnapped. Slowly, Ariana's going to look down at her and let her go, just like one arm falling off and then the other slowly. You weren't kidnapped? Alsuandria is going to shake her head and say, "No, I ran from Dad and his knights." There is a long moment of pause before Ariana collects herself and says, "With that crazed sorceress out there, you ran from the people protecting you?" Alsuandria's going to nod and say, "Yes, ma'am." Ariana is going to inhale and exhale and say, "I love you more than life itself, and you ran from me. They were there on behalf of my orders." And Alsuandria is going to deflate and say, "Yes, ma'am. It's just that I've found things out about my condition." She's going to say, "Your condition? There's nothing wrong with you, Alsuandria." And she's going to say, "It's more than a malady of blood, Mom. I learned I was cursed by a woman named Ariana's going to hold up her hand and say, "Do not speak her name in this palace." At which point Alsuandria is going to say, "You knew." Ariana is going to say, "This is the last time we will ever speak of this. Yes, I knew. And yes, I worked hand in hand with the first ascended, the god of storms, and every knight and every blade in my power. I hunted that damned sisterhood to the edges of our country and eradicated each and every one of them."
You actually didn't.
We've had several
You're
run-ins.
not
You're
there.
not there. Oh, I'm not there. Sorry.
We'll have to count on me for this.
Mm-hmm. She's going to say, "What do you mean?"
We bumped into one and found out that they're trying to get the princess again. It's the same lady that had Maria before.
So you mean to tell me there's more than just that crazy mind mage after you?
Yeah. There's her and her whole order.
Sorry, Ariana is going to lean back and say, "I don't believe it."
I mean, you don't have to, but it's the princess's safety. Just saying. Whether we're right or not, doesn't really matter.
She's going to point to Asuandria and say, "You're not to leave this. Matter of fact, you're sleeping with me tonight." Asuandria is going to nod. And Ariana's going to just cusp her hand in her face. Let's see, how much does she know about Horrorwind? Because that was kind of Oro's job and folly. You didn't tell her the name of the Goldus, so that's gonna be like a little bit relevant. Ariana's going to say, "How did you learn about the woman who cursed you?" Asuandria is going to speak up and say, "I went to the family crypts." And she's going to say, "Yes, and the Magnate's Memorial shows, the Magnate's Memorial honors your grandfather and your uncles." She's going to nod and say, "I went down into the catacombs. There was magic inside of the sealed chambers." And it explained everything.
Maybe not everything, but most things. How's Maria handling them?
Maria is taking all of this in. Actually, 67. Okay, yeah, Maria's watching and taking all of this basically in stride. It's kind of... it's unfortunate, but you can roll me an insight check if you want to get like any more of like a read from her.
Yep.
Give me that insight.
Not the worst I could do.
Okay, let me... Yeah, Maria's not doing a good job of... Not doing a good job of staying composed. As she is, from the roughs of the outer edge of, the inner society of Artisarai. And she is like... She's kind of got like her arms crossed and her head's like a little bit tilted, as in she's kind of getting used to being pushed to the side, almost annoyed a little bit.
I'm gonna kind of just like put my hand on her shoulder.
Okay.
Try and comfort her a bit.
And at the mention of the crypts, Ariana is going to speak up and say, we tried everything we possibly could for 4 years to rid you of whatever magic it was that woman imbued in you. And nothing would separate it. But for 4 years, other than your eyes, you didn't show any aggression, any anger, any weird magical disturbance. For all that we could gander from it, whatever she did to you didn't do much of anything, again, other than your appearance. Suandria, you're not cursed. Just don't let this worry or keep you up at night, because gods know that I've done enough of that for the both of us already.
I wish the guys hadn't left.
At which point, Ariana's going to collect herself and say, that said, I have to think of a proper punishment for you. Asuandria is going to, open her mouth in shock and say, punishment? I'm a good princess!
No, you're not.
And Ariana's going to say, good princesses don't run away from their guards.
You didn't, though. You brought us with you.
Roll
She
me a
brought her own
persuasion check.
Nice, good, loyal guard.
Heck yeah!
Oh my god.
MVP Willow!
Charisma, my one good stat.
Ariana is going to nod and say, well, at least you're wise enough to bring the Elilnagian princess and Sagite with you. Both, and
a few
she'll,
others.
yeah, and she'll look at Shadora and say, I know you trained in the Sunyeth Academy. Neither one of your skills are to be underestimated. Reyna expressed quite some frustration at you. She looks at Lumilia.
I would like to state right now, I did not know that was going to occur. Though I do not regret my participation.
Don't worry, you brought guards. Also, Lumilia, I was hardly paying attention.
No, I was
I'm
paying
kidding,
attention.
I'm
I just
kidding.
didn't expect her to turn her into a toad.
No mention of the rest of us.
I'm not
The door.
letting her know that. I mean, she walked in. Aren't you guys outside?
No, we were gone by
No,
then.
we're.
No.
Oh, you
somewhere else.
left.
I don't
Oh,
know where we are, to be honest.
We're
Fedora
down the
is-
hall, basically.
Fedora is worth
well,
5
fair enough.
people.
Oh, we also had the kids of a couple of your knights and some other nobles.
Ariana's going to roll her eyes and say, you just made an adventure of it, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Shut it, Jackal.
She's a princess. No protection is too big. And we blend in with her.
I agree with that sentiment. As Ariana points to Lumilia. She'll gesture and say, these guards of yours can stay for now. If you can prove to me you can earn your privilege back of roaming the castle, the Magnates keep in the Sage's Tower will be available to you. for now, you're restricted to your room. Also, Andrew's gonna say, no! Okay.
I mean, she'd probably be pretty safe moving with us, since it's just a bunch of noble children and a Sagite, so it kind of looks like she's just another noble. Most people don't know the face of the princess.
Ariana is going to point, not at Lumilia, but turn and kind of like point to the like sky and just, bring up one finger and say, let's get one thing straight. You are not by any means allowed to leave the premises of Zenith Rise. Asuandra is going to nod. And she'll look at Maria and say, my husband tells me that he's trained you personally. You're quite skilled with the sword. Maria, for the first time, is going to straighten up and say, yes, Your Highness. And Ariana is going to say, please, you can call me Lady Bertolf, or and she'll stop there and instead say, well, I know you come from nothing out in Fiertar.
I'll look a little bit offended on Maria's behalf.
If you wish, you can claim the rank of Solsarai. I'll allow you to become a knight of the castle. I'll come with land. You'll have to squire to a knight of rank already. But once you get their approval, I don't see any reason why I couldn't add my daughter to the ranks of legend. At which point, Maria is going to inflate a little bit, then say, that would be great, Your Highness, or Lady Bertolf, but I wouldn't want it unless I earned it. And
Lumilia looks so proud.
And Ariana's going to shrug and say, well, if you find a knight you can impress, you can try and earn it on your own. If not, I can assign you to one. Maria's going to say, thank you. And at which point, she'll look again to Asuandria and say, your room for now until I've calmed down. As soon as your father gets back, we'll talk further. Where's Reyna? She turns and steps into the hallway. Does Lumilia want to say anything before we jump over to the rest of the party?
She's gonna just, I guess, congratulate Maria and then keep hanging out.
Went better than expected.
Congratulations, Maria. You almost became a Solsarai.
I didn't get arrested. Heck yeah.
Yeah, thanks to a 22 persuasion check.
Heck yeah.
That's like one away from the max Lumilia could roll. Alright, so jumping over to the rest of the party, in the hallway with Reyna.
Going out for drinks!
Reyna is going to look to Alexander and say, Alexander, you've caught me at a bad time. I don't have a second to spare to talk. Speak quickly.
She's safe. We brought her back. We wanted to talk to you about... And he's going to walk up right next to her so he can whisper in her ear the curse.
I'm not going to make you roll a stealth check, as you guys aren't being accompanied by a guard, and Reyna doesn't really need any, so it's pretty much just you guys in this hall. Reyna is going to Roll an insight check. She's smart about stuff. And she's going to say, would wring that little brat's neck if I could right now. What do you know about her condition? What did she do while she was out there? What knowledge does she have to know that anybody here is hiding stuff from her?
Well, we first heard about it from Donaganya. And apparently when we went down into Beartooth Crypt, there was some kind of voice that none of us could understand, but she could. I guess some person, and the one who gave her the curse told her about it. It was set up for her when she came in.
And
What
she's
has
going
to do
to
with it?
say, did either of you understand it?
I personally didn't, but I don't know if anyone of our group did. Besides,
I didn't understand it, but it sounds very. What? Would I recognize the language to be? Because with the thing that you were working on, isn't Sylvan and Abyssal in like a similar umbrella category? Like they're connected to the same one?
Look at it. Let's see. That would be... No, it is not.
Okay.
Yeah, the root language of Sylvan is Sulimi, and
Okay.
is Spirian. That is the root language of Abyssal, things that come from outside of Ilderon.
Okay. The only other one I would have had was Old.
I was gonna say, would Old Tongue then be closer? Old Tongue or
Let us look. No, yeah, Old Tongue still is rooted from Sulimi, too.
Okay. I was going to state. Never mind what I was going to state. It's just, I don't.
Thank you, Shelby, for making me roll up these cards.
I think she said something about some kind of abyssal or some language to that effect.
Reyna is going to think for a moment and say, I've been pretty rigorous in my training and educating of the girl. When has she had time to study Abyssal?
Don't know. Could it be a side effect of the condition?
Some people learn things naturally.
If she tries to say there's no way that she knows Abyssal because of that, I'd like to point out that I speak Draconic simply because I was made by a rock.
No, and she'll say, Rael and I have ran experiments on her. To both of our knowledge, the magic affecting her doesn't really do much of anything. She can see in the dark, and she can see through illusions. I didn't know it came with... I do suppose it is demonic in its origins. Reyna begins rubbing her chin, lost in thought. You've given me a lot to think about.
You did a restoration on yourself, so you remember Donaganya.
Has she had time
Oh, she said she did remember it. Or she did do it.
Oh, yeah, she could get it with a remove curse. And, yeah, Donaganya would be, moved from her mind. And she would say, yes, I do remember having her in my service, but I didn't hire her. She was a holdover from the diviners when Rael was a diviner here. or when Rael was head diviner. I released her as soon as I took charge. That said,
She's the one that
crazed mage that attacked me on the road, the same one that attacked Oro, you said that you ran into her at, you said he ran into her right before the princess was kidnapped. I have dark memories of her.
She's part of the cult that caused the condition. She's a daughter of Gendawai. And she has her memories back as well.
Reyna is going to nod and say, well, next time she won't get the drop on me. I spent all night scrying and looking for the princess. I was expended. It's the only reason she won that fight.
Reyna, you're like family. Dad's nothing but highly of you. Auntie Richia, Auntie Anna, and Delia. Let us help. Spending all this time, become a very close friend of ours.
She's going to nod and say, that is true. It's about time I included some of you in the lot. She'll look at or included the lot of you. She'll look at the group and say, how would each of you like to serve your country?
It would be an honor? Skeptically, I say.
Can I say I would? I mean, no disrespect to you, or the lady, or the magnate, or anyone, but I would be doing this for Aussie, not the country.
Reyna's going to nod and say, well, please, make no mistake, I'm thankful that all of you were able to rescue the princess. However, there was a Sagite gallivanting around with you before this. She and the princess orchestrated her escape and running away and causing everybody to go on all of these wild chases. Find her, bring her to my quarters.
From what we heard from the story, Amelia didn't have any going on. It was Aussie's plan, and Amelia just got kind of caught up in it. She's actually with the princess right now, keeping an eye on her. I know you're mad, but believe me when I say none of us want any harm. We're just trying to help a friend.
She's going to say, Mad? Mad? Have you ever spent an hour stripped of your mental faculties?
Yes.
Oh, she's furious.
Claws outright gonna say yes.
And she's going to say, well, you should know with all of the things that I manage for this country and the information I provide the magnate, an hour where I'm not at the helm, when I'm not steering my diviners in the direction that the country needs, is a terrifying hour for this country indeed, especially when such prominent magical threats are gathering around us. I am beyond mad.
And a bit of something that a lesson my dad taught me when I was trying to train with animals. If you keep them caged and trapped into a corner for long enough, they're content with it, but they're also afraid and want to try and explore and will run one when they see a chance. Give them a little bit of a loose leash, but still keep an eye on them. They'll be comfortable, but you will still be able to be there to help them. I feel like people are the same way. Just have a little bit more complex thought and different ways of expressing it.
Reyna is going to think on it for a moment, nod, and say, well, I can kill two birds with one stone. And she's going to start walking down the hallway.
Excuse me, Miss Reyna, ma'am?
Head Diviner Renopal Surreal. She turns.
I just had a quick question if you could spare a moment. Involving magic?
Does Reyna have any politeness left in her? Man, we're rolling all different types of morality dice tonight.
Oh god, this is nothing.
Knowing how daft the citizens of Ardersarai can be when it comes to magical matters, she is going to say, I've gained a few seconds. The matters at hand are not as pressing. If you ask quickly, I can answer a question. She gestures for you to go on.
Do you know any instances of people suddenly awakening the magic from when they had no previous experience whatsoever?
She's going to nod and say, there are many different sources of magic in our world, some of which get tied through inheritance and through blood and traits, particularly those who dabble with beings that have been involved with earth fires. It's not uncommon for sorceress bloodlines to emerge further down in a family tree. I've heard across in Galkin that the royal family was bound to elements itself. Their descendants randomly have awakenings of such things. To answer your question, no. That's not unheard of. Uncommon? Quite.
Okay. Anderson's somewhat in like a cold sweat. It's like, thank you for answering my question. Sorry to take your time.
We heard rumor of some kind of fountain that springs every 5 years that can remove any kind of curse or ailment. Do you know anything of it?
Reyna is going to say, you're going to have to be more specific than that. I hear lots of rumors.
We didn't get too much. Anderson, did that dude, that guy ever tell you where this fountain was?
DM, did he?
He did. I won't make you roll for it. He said it was in Amirian, the Shattered Nation.
It was in where?
Amirian.
Amirian.
Part of Amirian's lands were consumed by forests and overgrowth, and part of Amirian's lands became a Lil Nagai. It was a country in the center of Cedal that no longer exists. So what happens when you try and survive 2 shatterings? Oh, it's also the land that Anderson's been dreaming of.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
You say that out loud to
Jackal.
Do you share that information?
But yeah, I thought I said yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your mic probably didn't pick up you saying yes. All right. Yeah, if you say that, she'll roll that history check with advantage, and rolling, I kid you not, a 1 and a 4 before her any of her bonuses. And she'll say, if you're looking for information about a Mirian, that's a subject of knowledge lost to everyone. Shatter after shatter ravaged that country, those lands. The edge of it is where the Earthfire was. The Earthfire was destroyed. Elves, wars, guided wars, Pelinia wars. And I can pull out my notes for more wars if you guys want me to go through every specific war that was there, but I'm not going to.
Was
Reyna
going
goes...
to pitch in real quick and state, where is what's her name? That not Ayana. Rainbow-haired elf.
Oh, Anna?
Anna. Where's Anna?
And she was going to say, and I was just getting there. If you're searching for knowledge of magic, perhaps I can help you in that. But ancient history, you'd be better off looking towards the sages. Anna Estelle is, or High Sage Anna, High Councilwoman Sage Anna Estelle is in her tower. As, to my knowledge, the High Council meeting with the Magnate is going on up there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ariana canceled it for what's going on.
If I have an idea.
Thanks, Auntie. Oh, one more thing you should probably be aware of that you could discuss with Magnate. Apparently, VN Antha, or whoever, the
Ella?
Yeah, the person from Demon's Door sent Aussie a blade.
She's going to nod and say, quite aware. Ariana locked it up in the quartermaster's vaults.
I meant to mention that when I was talking to the Mac. I got paid to tell them.
She's sent another, and someone or a messenger. We ran into him on our way here.
Reyna's gonna roll her eyes and say, Oswandra is hardly the age to make a decision on an Oathblade. This time, and the old laws don't, the old oaths don't give the Magnate the right to decline it for her.
Oh.
I'll bring it up to her my next advisory session, but I don't have as much sway over the Magnate as you might think.
I feel like just allowing her to understand the situation and being able to make her own decisions might be a good thing for Oswandra herself, being able to make an informed decision of her own, especially if something that involves her personally.
Reyna is going to roll her eyes again and says, the girl fawns over me. She actually met somebody who returned her affections. She'd be running into that demon's arms. She's not ready to understand the weight of such a decision.
I think the problem with that is she told us that her only other friend for us was someone that the Magnate paid to be her friend.
She's going to chuckle and say, the woman's hardly a friend. She's an entertainer. Jester of sorts.
That makes it worse. That she thought that entertainer was a friend. If anything, and I know we'll probably disagree, and they all, but maybe her getting out and meeting people, not such. I know it's caused a lot of trouble. This going.
She is going to hold up a hand and say, "That's not my decision to make. That's the magnate's. I guard her when I'm told to. But as of lately, she's been making that very difficult. Now, if you'd excuse me, my lords," she nods, and she is going to begin walking away. Again.
That went well.
Serena, one more thing before you go. This is something you can just. Could
You better shout it down the hall. She is not slowing down.
Could you just send a sending to my father, telling him, giving him a quick rundown of what's happened? He probably would want to know.
Raina is going to throw a thumbs up. Or maybe she'll just throw one finger up. It's like kind of like, I got it. As she continues walking. All right, what's the next direction for the party? Let me know, and I'm going to go into
bar.
the next event happening. To the
You're
bar.
not old enough, Jackal.
There's
There's
no-
only two. There's only like three people. That is arguable. Three arguable people.
What?
One of
You're
them is
not
only-
older. I think I'm older than you.
And we've determined, E, that they don't really care about it. Bars and order. I've already drank.
Oh, right. So did Claw. But Claw, Claw's. You know what? Claw's going to flip a coin.
You want to talk to Sage Claw?
Part of me does. Another part of me wants to make sure that an explosion doesn't happen inside of the prince's bedroom.
Have a bit of faith.
Lemillia's
Anderson,
got a whole bunch of it.
No, he's referring to Reyna.
I'm gonna turn to Anderson. Anderson, I have a question.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
Heads.
All right.
Tails no bar. Heads bar.
No. Tails was Claw's going to catch up with Reyna and walk into the room with her. Heads, he's going to head towards Anna, where he thinks Anna is.
This.
All right, go for it.
All right. I'm just going to say odds is tails, evens is heads. Heads.
All right, which
All right.
direction is he going?
He's heading towards Anna.
All right. Does the party join Claw?
I'll follow, but Kenneth, I think, wanted to talk to Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, like we can talk on the way. When magic? What?
So, I was kind of having a rest, and I think it'll be quicker just to show you, and I fire an Eldritch Blast off at like some can or whatever.
Can in the hallway.
Or
You can
like
shoot
some
it at
plant
like
in
a candle or a.
yeah, I'll shoot it at like a candle. It's like actually, it'll just be quicker to show you. I kind of like just reach out my hand and fire an Eldritch Blast.
Oh.
Do I need to aim or?
Right. I mean,
How badly
that
do I
burst
break
of
it?
like magical energy is going to zip from Anderson's hand, forming a line between the wall and the sconce before it just kind of bursts with like this purple arcane energy that slowly just evaporates into mist.
And as you can probably guess from my question, I have never done magic before in my life.
Does that have to do with dreams?
I have no idea. Probably.
I'm gonna go with the dreams and the demon.
Anderson's winning the game of who's the most cursed.
Yes, Anderson, I think you're winning this game of first.
You know, there's some honest.
I don't know if you want to be winning this.
I don't think I want to be winning either.
I gotta say, Kenneth, you're taking a lot of this crazy shit going on pretty well.
I don't know why, but I know how to speak primordial, and I have some blank spots in the 2 years I lived on the streets. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this in stride, and I'm gonna need a drink someday. You guys can drink, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually,
We're
My
gonna
dad
get
took me out for drinks.
we're gonna get hammered.
How about after we talk to hit up a bar?
Oh, good. Yes, I'm up.
Gods no, I think we all have to drink right now.
All right. I'm gonna jump over to Lumilia again, and Stradora.
Oh no.
Inside of Asuandria's room. Asuandria is kind of like pacing, sprawled back on her bed, arms wide out, just like, this is so unfair. I'd never learn anything if I didn't leave the castle. And just kind of, complaining about essentially being grounded.
Princess, your life was in danger. Your mother is just afraid. Give her some time and then we can bring it up again. Let her calm down and understand that you're safe.
And she's gonna get up to respond before again the door opens and Reyna is going to storm in, followed by Celestial Magnate Ariana Bertolf.
Oh,
and she's going to say, Reyna, this isn't the time. She's going to say, no, Ariana, this needs to be done. And she turns to Asuandria and says, give me your spell book. Asuandria, for the first time, is going to lean up and say, no, it's mine. Reyna's going to roll her head and say, give me your spell book. Asuandria is going to say, you were lying to me. I didn't do anything wrong. Reyna turns and looks at Ariana and then to Asuandria and says, all right, I challenge you to an honor duel. Give me your spell book if I win. Asuandria is going to say, no. Reyna responds with, well, if you decline, you lose your right to all of your titles, all of your ranks, all the land you hold, and before she can go forward.
Do I know how honor duels work?
You can roll me a history check.
It's the one thing I remember, I guess.
Yeah, this is, well, actually, you're from the north. This is old tradition. So one of the reasons that Sorcery exists is because there are a set of old oaths that
mostly I'm asking, can I fight the honor duel for Asuandria?
And that's something I will tell you. So there's old oaths that every Sorcery is holden to, and it's kind of one of the reasons why the country has the caste system, that once you take this rank, you have to abide by these oaths. Of that, with how honor duels work, if Asuandria so chooses, she can name a champion to fight for her. But that would be her choice. At which point, Ariana's going to say, Reyna, this is absurd. And she's going to say, no, this child is unruly and she needs some sense, and she's never got a spanking in her life and she needs some sense beaten into her.
She hasn't needed a spanking. She's been locked in all her life. She didn't even use the spellbook against you. It was a spell scroll.
Also, Andrea is going to raise her hand and say, in this situation, I would much rather be spanked. And Reina is going to say, accept or give me the book. Also, Andrea's going to exhale and
Princess, you could let me do it.
She's gonna shake her head and say, there's no reason, we can't beat her. She's going to pull out the spell book from her satchel on the side of the bed and hand it towards Reina. Reina is going to take the spell book and say, you'll get it back when you prove that you can you can make capable decisions with it. Aswandra is going to nod and say, yes, ma'am.
Lumilia looks pissed.
And that's the explosion I was worried about.
Reina is going to look more, or look towards Lumilia, and is Lumilia in need of a punishment? And does Reina have friends in the Chantry of Discipline? She's going.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, she's going to say, and you. I have half a mind to challenge you to an honor duel just to beat the sense out of you, but your rank is different.
Joke's on you, I don't have sense.
Yeah, let's stoke that fire while we're at it.
Is gonna like chip in and like whisper and it's like, that's not a good comeback, Lumilia. And Reina's going to say, I can see to it that your tutelage as a Sagite is torturous. I'm in contact with a few sages, particularly of note, that have ran some of their Sagites and scroll scribes mad with the tasks they've assigned to them.
You know what? You don't have to. I declare myself, daughter? What's it?
Oh, shoot, daughter?
I forgot the word. Yes, I declare myself a Shia daughter.
Wait.
I'm stepping down from my place as a Sagite.
Everybody in the room's gonna be like a little confused.
You can't use my sage to punish me if he isn't my sage.
What?
So, alright. Reina is going to think for a moment.
I'm just as confused as her.
She's going to, say, you'll get a proper punishment in due time. For now, unruly children who don't do as they're told, Aswandra is going to say, you were lying to us.
You were lying to us.
Reina is going to gesture to her and Ariana and say, we've dealt with this for a lot longer than you have. We know what's best for you.
Yes, and it's her life.
Ariana is going to nod and say, I've already given them the whole I've already given them a stern talking to. For now, we need to focus on whoever this new sorceress is. Reina's going to say, oh, I'm familiar with her. Ariana's going to say, come, let's devise a plan and leave the kids to think about what they've done today. And she's going to say, have you contacted Oro? Reina's going to nod and say, I sent him a sending earlier. He's on his way back. All right. At which point, Reina is going to leave the room, not giving a second glance to anybody else in it. Maria's gonna start laughing and say, is that the first honor duel you've ever had to fight? And Andrea is going to nod and say, "Yeah, but I mean, I don't even know how to use a sword, let alone a dueling cane." Maria?
I probably would have accidentally broken the rules, so.
Well, the rules can, and Maria will inform you this and say, the rules are mutable. Whatever the two parties agree on becomes the honor duel. There's old rules that govern it, but I've knocked a silly peasant or two out over.
You have to tell me more about it.
She'll look at both of you and say, I can teach you how to use a dueling cane if you want.
That'd be great.
Shadora, who's been watching all of this, is going to say, or next time some uppity bastard wants to challenge you to an honor duel, you can just name me your champion. I won't leave the room.
I forgot she was here. Oh, also, Andrea, do you have paper?
Yeah, without her spell book, she'll go to the corner with all her spell reagents and her components, and she'll pull out several sheets of parchment.
Thank you. Mind if I write a letter to my father?
She'll nod and say, go ahead.
Thanks.
At which point, Maria's going to step into the hallway and ask for some practice weapons. Guards are a little bit incredulous, and it's like, okay. And yeah,
this is Maria, daughter of the husband of the magnate. You don't say no to her.
Yeah. Eventually, they're gonna run off and get some from the quartermaster, and we'll jump over to the other part of the party. And just to let everybody know, since we started late tonight, I was planning on going at least 45 minutes later than our normal session time.
That's fine.
If consciousness, boredom, or sleepiness or responsibility calls you away, let me know and I'll try and be the most conscious I can of it. All right, so jumping over, I want to ideally get to the next day, and I want to reunite the party and get to the next day, ideally. But I'm not pushing you guys along, So, jumping over to the rest of the party, you go looking for Anna in the Sage's Tower. Anna is never a very hard woman to find, as it is her job to be available to give knowledge to those who need it. Let's see. Climbing to the top of the Sage's Tower, you guys are going to find Anna. She is actually... Actually, let me roll a percentage die on how well this meeting went. She's actually briefing 3 high counselors, as it seems that their meeting is coming to the end. There are 4 Sagites waiting up here behind the table she is standing at, as the high counselors get up and leave their seats. Each one, escorted by a guard or soldier. The Sagites are going to come and sit down and take seats at the table as if they're preparing for a class. Anna's going to look up at, I believe, the 4 of you that have come: Anderson, Alexander, Claw, and Kenneth.
Yep.
She's going to gesture to the table and say, come to join us for our evening lesson.
Actually, Anna, I was curious and was wanting to had a few questions of my own of a specific field that I wanted to look more into.
She's going to look at her Sagites and say, all right, Sagites, straighten up. It's quiz time. Don't fear, if you can't provide the knowledge, you won't be judged harshly, and I will help you out. She'll gesture and say, my students are well studied. Ask of them what you will.
Oh boy, this is going to be entertaining. Out of character, in character. Well, the questions I was wondering in particular was a bit more involving. Claw's gonna cough and kind of tug at his mask a little bit, trying to hint towards Anna that it's involving something that he does that I believe she would remember about his family.
Okay. And Anna will roll a insight check and say, is this a sensitive nature that you need to discuss privately?
Claw will nod.
She'll gesture for her students, and she'll say, okay, each of you, we are going to be going over the struggles of Sarai today. It's a popular text. You should be well versed in it. Skim through it until I finish. They're each going to shuffle through the stacks of books they have, pulling out the struggles of Sarai. She gestures for Claw to come closer as she begins walking towards the rows of bookshelves in her office.
Yeah, Claw will closer. And he'll kind of hush down and state, I've heard rumors of a fountain that is relatively nearby here that springs every 5 years that can remove curses. Have you heard of anything about that?
She's going to nod and say, you speak of something that was once of a Mirian. I'm sure you are aware that such things are lost to these times. That nation has been so much that it's been buried under the dirt and stone of this continent. Only the slivers of ruins remain in the shattered lands of Ilonagai.
Well, it is, from what I was hearing, it's supposed to be springing up again sometime soon, and if what I remember at any point is your vast knowledge, you would be possibly the best help I could have to possibly find this to help, well, help both my family and some individuals I've seen around of some ailments that they've had.
She's going to nod, thinking on it, and say, the ancient Milsarai of Cedal are capable of rituals that weren't wholly understood by the minds of ancient Ardor. Back then, this country was called Sarai's Dawn, and you wouldn't know it, but the lands that Ardor sits on was actually the edge of Emirian lands. However, from the heart of the country, there's a strange forest. Many things where, before they were ascended, there was rumors of men becoming gods. The rituals from that place, carrying on into the ruins of Emirian, And it's not unorthodox to think there might be powerful, potent magic there. But the same place that spawns such magic spawns other fearful rumors. Souls that will never rest. Calgarans tortured by an eternity. You might seek healing and find a new ailment in the process.
Then, if I were to find it, I think I'll bear that ailment. So that way others don't have to suffer.
Amirian runes aren't well studied among the scholars of Cedel. I do believe the last expedition into one that was uncovered resulted in an undead scourge across the Ililnigian countryside. However, if you are to track down such a place, you need a guide. I can contact any. I'll send them towards your father. As I suppose he would be interested in knowing what his son is up to, Lord Esterai.
Yes. Although he does not know that I'm personally after this yet, I feel that his methods are a good start, but there needs to be more headway. Ways that we don't have to be as afraid of this anymore. Not just us.
She's gonna nod and say, I'm sure you can see how in such a situation I'm torn. Yes, it is my duty to advise and give you knowledge, but it is also my duty to lead you to the paths of the Four-Ascended, and not into the arms of possibly dark lost magic. AKA, this is the Tom Riddle scene where he asks about Horcruxes.
We're trying to teach that not all curse. That I do have one pop quiz question for your students, though, that I feel like would be intriguing for me to hear as well as them. And if you would be okay with it, I would like to ask their opinion of what's the difference between a blessing and a curse in their minds.
She's going to nod and gesture for you to return back to the table with the studying scribes. And just in the briefest little overview, you guys don't have to go in depth. As Claw and Reyna are returning from their small stroll, what's Alexander, Kenneth, and Anderson doing at this moment?
Hey, Anderson.
Yeah.
Did you want to ask Anna about your dreams and everything?
I'm a little scared too, honestly.
Well, she would be probably one of the only people here who could actually give some answers. Your choice.
I mean, you guys had a Sagite in your party. I get.
I don't know, like, I'm awaking. First, I have these dreams, then I awaken to magic, and basically, I don't know what's going to happen next. Are my eyes going to turn pure black like Aussies, or?
And it's worth stating that you guys aren't alone. Up here, the four Sagites are at the table. One of them's just gonna.
Oh, we're not alone?
Yeah, one of them's
No.
just gonna like peer up from his book and then just kind of like go
I
look back down.
I
and
will
keep
continue
making
this
notes on the
conversation
margins.
I will continue this conversation telepathically. Because fuck whispering. I can speak in your mind.
It's mind magic, mind magic, mind magic. Everybody getting down with mind magic. Does Anderson say anything else?
Well, it's just like I honestly don't. I guess, like, do you think we can trust her?
She is the sage of the country. It's her job.
But can we trust her? Like, is she going to turn me into a test subject because of this, or is she going to? You know, this is clearly not normal.
Like I said, it's your call. I just thought I'd throw that idea. Is the risk of you never knowing what you're worth, what you're fearing will happen?
Not. I guess we'll go talk to her. I'm not happy about it. But I don't know what else to do.
I'm already asking about lost information. This might.
I guess we'll go talk to her.
Well, she's going back with Claw right now, so maybe just tell her you have your own personal questions that you don't want revealed to others.
Sure.
We can come with you for this if.
That I would actually appreciate that. I guess that's the end of the conversation. Waiting for her to come back.
Okay. Let me see. One last thing. Cool. All right. All right. So you are going to be able to speak up to Anna as she returns to the group. Anna is going to call to her sages, or to her Sagites, and say, "All right, Lord Estrai has a question for all of you. It is one of a philosophical notion. Don't worry. You won't lose or gain any of my favor by sharing your opinions." The Sagites nod.
For each of you, what is the difference between a blessing and a curse?
He's the first Sagite is going to speak up and say, in most instances, for a blessing to be done, it requires magic from a divine source, one of an earthfire or a deity. Curses can be strung together with either arcane or divine magic. It's the intent of such an act. The one next to him is going to say, "Rictus, it's I think it's beyond that." And the simplest notions, a blessing is something you're given that aids you, and a curse is something you're given that you have to carry around with and handle the burden of. The next man is going to speak up and say, I suppose it's just a matter of perspective on how you look at it. Blessing to someone who doesn't want it, the most beautiful wife in the lands to a man who favors men, might not be worth much of anything to him. Could even potentially be looked at as a curse. The woman sitting next to him is going to scuff. Say, you lot put too much thought into it. A blessing's a gift from the gods, and a curse is their scorn. It's that simple. You keep the four happy. You follow in their path, and you share your light with everyone else.
Why do I feel that's actually incredibly small-minded? Oh shit, did I say that out loud?
Does Anderson say that out loud?
That's in character.
The woman's going to look a little offended at that before Anna chimes in and says, I said I wouldn't judge you. The lords are welcome to their own.
Now, a follow-up question with that. Can a blessing become a curse, and vice versa? If that is the case, as he brought up an interesting point, what would be normally a beautiful thing, such as a blessing of life constantly growing wherever you touch, but everything you touch begins to grow. Everything. The house, your purse, your clothes, everything grows.
They'll look at each
Is that a blessing
other,
or a curse?
murmuring, and for the one who spoke up before about the wife will say, yeah, I suppose.
And then something that turns you feral, if tamed, could that become a blessing? Something that you would all view as a gift.
Here we go. 4 morality dies. Because tonight I haven't rolled enough of these.
Let's get philosophical.
Yeah. The first one is going to agree. The second one is going to agree. The third one is going to agree. And the devil's advocate is going to say... It's going to speak up and say, well, I suppose even if you tame it and doesn't lose its classification as a curse, as it was given out as a punishment. Take, dude's getting a random name. Oh wait, no, I already gave him a name, Rictus. She's going to say, take Rictus's example from a different perspective. Noble. One such as yourself is exiled, stripped of all lands and titles, pushed out of every city he comes across, finds out that he enjoys living out on the edges of the land. While it may be something he enjoys, his punishment and curse is still of what was of the charge that was given to him.
I like that response, actually. Thank you. All of you.
They're going to nod. And they're going to whisper, it's like, is this a lesson? Are we supposed to be taking notes? Anna's going to chuckle a little bit. And before she snaps and says, back to your texts. And they're going to begin reading again. She's going to look to the party and say, well, my lords, I hope that you've been served in your thirst for knowledge, and in any case, you're always welcome back. For now, I believe I should attend to my students. Or my Sagites.
Actually, could I talk to you about something in private?
And sometimes my pee gets hard, and I don't know what to do about
No, not like that.
Alright, Anna will nod, and maybe she needs to start scheduling appointments. And she's going to say, I have a few minutes to spare before I have to continue teaching. And she'll gesture for the same path, strolling through the shelves, this time with Anderson.
I'll come with them.
Yeah. But, so, how long ago was it? Like,
just a few days.
Yeah, like, so a few days ago I started getting dreams. And I saw people and places and things that I I've never known or experienced, but I knew them, which I know explains a lot, but I'm doing the best I can here.
Anderson, do you want me to just rip the bandage off this one for you?
Yes.
He's been dreaming of a mirror, and as he was someone else. What we can gather, talking to... Oh, my brain just shut off. Sorry.
Calfear Calgaren?
Yeah.
Calgaren. As a childhood friend.
Anna is going to say, have you been reading children's stories?
No.
Of the ancient Shatterers?
It was the first time I ever heard of him, even. Also, this kind of happened today, but, I will just... Do I have something that doesn't do damage for cantrips? I guess I'll cast Mage Hand.
And it's worth stating that Anna is an elf. She's a very young-looking elf, but elves age with how they feel in Ilderon, and potentially, if they are wise enough, they never die of old age, as long as their spirits are in good condition. That said, it's very likely that Anna could be thousands of years old, or she could be, hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
In any case, she's going to respond and say, a childhood friend of Calfear. You might not believe it, but one of the few to survive and be on the continent during Calfear's shatterings. So long ago, I hardly remember a thing. Do you happen to remember the friend of him?
Yeah.
By my knowledge, he did some pretty awful things to some of his friends.
Like how he turned, what's her name? The one that he turned into a witch.
Are you asking me as a player?
As a player, I'm asking what's her name.
The guard's name was Millis.
Like how he turned Millis into a witch using a goat as a sacrifice. Basically, like, I know a lot of stuff that I pretty much shouldn't.
Insight
Like,
check.
I can like describe the halls despite never being there. And I actually have this in my notes. What was I called myself? Notes.
Um,
No, that's Calfirin.
Anna is going to look
Martlin. I was called Martlin.
towards. Anna is going to look towards Alexander. And she's going to look towards Alexander, and say, "You, stop. Forget everything you are about to hear." Alexander stops mid-stride as Anna and Anderson keep walking. She's going to look towards Anderson and say, "Where did you stumble upon this knowledge?"
I didn't. I just started dreaming of it one night. They just keep coming. That every night it's a new dream, a new scene. But he's always in them. He's always involved in some way.
She's going to think and say, "Do you ever think it's strange there's no knowledge left of what happened leading up to that shattering? It's not mentioned between the first or second shattering. No texts, nothing survived from that period. Unrest shattered Amirian, according to your histories. But Amirian was being destroyed long before that. Does Anderson say anything?
You know, I was never the scholar. I'm the, I don't know, I'm the adoptive son of a tailor. Like, education wasn't our highest thing. So the only things I know about the shatterings were what I was told as a kid. And
is going to reach forward and grab your collar of your shirt. She stares at you intently. Both of her eyes turn purple rather than the changing irises that they have been of mismatched colors.
Okay.
Give me a wisdom save.
I get advantage on this because of my race. Oh, that was only one. Oh.
You are not going to pass Anna's DC, as she is going to all right,
read my
let's
mind?
see. No, she's not going to read your mind.
She's rewriting my mind.
She's eating it.
You are affected by modified memory.
Shit.
And let's see, experience in the last 24 hours. All right, she is going to say to you, some knowledge is not to be gleaned. This is something you're aware of. Whenever you learn things of Emirian, you want to forget them as much as possible. Forget these dreams. Forget what you know of this Shatterer. Forget what you know of this Millis. Forget what you know of these rituals. You want to come here tonight, and you want to sleep in the Sage's Tower while I observe you. And she'll finally say, you've learned quite a bit in our small stroll about Veilrear and his ideologies leading up to the Kayak Wars. She let go of Anderson's collar. After a minute, the magic takes hold. Anderson, you're standing in a row of bookshelves, and you're with Sage Anna Estelle. She's been talking to you about Veilrear. At which point, she's going to walk back with you and say, Anderson, come, our Lord Rayleigh, come on. And she'll walk with you, and Alexandra's kind of standing there looking stupefied. She'll snap and say, Lord Vegas, come on. We need to return to your friends.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to push my luck, but is it alright if I sleep here tonight?
Anna is going to say, oh, well, since quite a lot of information for you to absorb, I don't mind counseling you through it in the night. Yes, it won't be an issue at all.
Thank you.
Anderson, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for convincing me to do this. I think it's helped.
All right. The party emerges from behind the bookshelves.
Everything went okay?
I think so. I don't really remember much. We were talking, and then I don't know.
Guess you held out.
Anna is going to say, talking about the intricacies of the Forest and its life before they ascended can be such a boring topic for the youth. I don't blame you. And she's going to say, well, if that's all, please come back and see me anytime.
Yeah, let's you guys want to head out and go hang out, right?
Yeah.
Get some drink.
Although, I'll be back later. I kind of say, like, over my shoulder as we, like, kind of go out.
You'll be back later, huh?
Yeah, I think I can learn something more from here.
You all go on ahead with the drinks. I'm gonna go check up on the girls and see on how they're doing. I'm not in the mood to drink tonight.
Well, I figured going by and grab them. Maybe Lamelia and Shador might want to have a drink with us.
Question, do I notice that something's a little off when they come in with my passive insight?
I mean, I'm not acting weird.
Like
I'm still me.
I'm almost
No,
certain saying talking about the Force ended is enough for us
Yeah,
to.
you guys can roll an insight check. Wait, say that again, Ramon?
I say, like, I'm almost certain Anna saying talking about the Force ascended is enough for, to send a red flag going, oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you guys can roll an insight check. I mean, your party looks a little confuzzled, but otherwise, I mean, they're not the smartest pair, you know? Talking to a scholar about stuff could be difficult to glean anything.
A little bit better than my passive.
I'm going to roll some things for myself. Yeah, Kenneth. Are they under the effects of being charmed? You're not really certain, but yeah, there's something that's just a tiny bit off, as almost like they were drugged or something. But otherwise, they seem completely fine. Doesn't seem like they're possessed. Well, I don't know. I can't say that on Anderson's behalf, but yeah. Yeah, something doesn't ring true to Kenneth. As far as like Claw's concerned, Alexander seems a little off to you, but Anderson's just weird. So
It's been weird this whole time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna head towards the girls. Where the girls are.
Okay. Is it cool if I just move everybody together?
Yeah, alright.
All right, Lumilia, you are able to pin your letter. If you want to send me a message as to what it says, you can let me know. Or
Sure.
if you just want to say it on stream, you can.
Well, the short version is she lets her father know that she is safe. She is assisting the princess with something, and due to her newfound understanding of the world, she would like to resign from her place as a Sagite and become a Shia daughter to better understand the world. And so, yes,
Your dad, I quit.
No,
dear dad, I
not-
quit.
Not dear dad, I quit. Dear dad, I stepped down a rank.
I mean, it's I quit, kinda.
Yeah,
She's not
basically.
planning on going back. She's just not telling him that.
Yeah. All right.
Boy.
So.
And then, real
go
quick
ahead.
though, I want her to look at Maria and say, like, do you want me to keep you a secret from my parents?
As you are writing this, she is going to say, well, Corwin never said anything bad about Kalistar, our father. I suppose it would be kind of cruel to let him go on thinking that his daughter died. Otherwise, I don't care much.
If I tell him, odds are he will tell his wife. If you'd rather just be Aura's daughter, that's alright.
And she's gonna kind of stop practicing with Asu Andrea, and
This is about who you want to be, not what's right for my parents.
and she's going to nod and say, "Yeah, but I feel like I kind of owe them something. They like created me."
I owe them something and they didn't create me. They chose to make you. You don't owe them anything for it.
All right, here we go. Another morality die tonight. These are fun.
I'm sorry we're making you roll these so much, but
No,
we're
it's
going...
just they're
Nah,
tough
he loves
situations
it.
where it's just like I don't know how these characters will respond. Let's let fate take it. And in this
Yeah.
situation, Maria.
She couldn't be trusted!
Yeah, Maria's going to shrug and say, "Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little wrong not letting him know I'm alive, but I suppose you're right. They haven't known for all this time. Maybe a couple more years won't hurt them. Maybe I'll return a gallant knight with a squire and a house."
That would be pretty impressive. I'll leave you out of the letter for now. You can always let them know whenever you'd like. Take your time and think about what you want. I'll
She's
finish the letter.
going to nod, going back to practicing with Asuandria, and say, feet wider apart, 2 hands on the dueling cane. You're not
Going
quick
back
enough.
to beating the shit out of us.
She's not hitting
Technically,
it. She has to learn how to hold it first before she can learn how to hit somebody with it.
Fedora is tied to a pole
so
somewhere,
proud of
so she doesn't interfere.
Can I say out of contact or out of character, Jackal? That
What?
went about as well as I expected, considering she's a demon lord.
Yeah,
She is not a demon lord. How dare
right.
you?
She's a devil. She's a lordess devil, and Claw's the only one who has a slight inkling about that. And I say slight inkling just because his dad doesn't trust her.
Yeah. And
Because
again,
of
for
the-
any viewers watching, it was revealed in the last set of campaigns, Anna is a archfiend or an archdevil in disguise.
By my character's dad.
Who knows why she's here and what she's doing? But anyways, yeah. Moving on, it's the party's together, knocking on the princess's door. The guards are going to let you in. Stepping into the lavish room, you're going to see it's got easily enough space for the 8 of you. In the corner, in the stone corner where a writing desk is at, and various podiums for practicing a spell, and shelves of components. Everything has been moved aside, and you see Asuandria and Maria. They are holding dueling canes. Every couple minutes, Maria will do a movement with the cane, and Asuandria will try her best to replicate it before Maria has to correct it. Stradora is sitting on the bed watching this scene. Lumilia is over by the study area, finishing up on a letter. And I think that's everybody in this room. The party is all together.
Oh, good. Raina didn't kill
So-
all of you.
And then Suandria
no,
will
she
speak
did
up and say,
threaten
"She
me."
took
Did
my
you ever
spell
think
book."
about? Did you ever think about why no one remembers this? No, I've never thought about it once in a day of my life. Why?
Because here, you won't remember this.
No,
Everyone, I
I
have good news.
was really hoping I could pass that. If only I was a high enough rank to be completely immune to those effects.
You have good news? What good news, Lumilia?
I do. I can now travel with you guys freely. I've become a Shia daughter.
What?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did you
I
just
stepped-
quit?
Yeah. But it's not really quitting. I'm still part of the Chantry. I just don't serve my father anymore. I just travel around and do good deeds. We do that anyways, aside from all the law breaking. It's
Sometimes
great.
in order to do a good thing, you gotta bend some rules.
Also, Reina
It's a
tried
matter
to
of
threaten a member of the Chantry of Discipline, and you shouldn't do that.
She tried to discipline a member of the
Yeah,
Chantry
don't
of
discipline the Chantry of
Dude.
Discipline. I'll just
Dude.
quit.
I'm just doing finger guns.
Oh, and also Andrea is learning how to fight in an honor duel.
Okay.
Oh, and Maria might become a squire.
Honor duels are such a strange thing.
Would you rather people just fight it out in the streets for death?
No, it's also because there's the legal family of bears that my father had to actually once talk to and convince them to not maul somebody.
Also,
did he do it?
Reina challenged also Andrea to an honor duel, and I kind of want to hurt her for it.
To answer your question, yes, everybody in my family can talk to animals.
No. I was going more like, did he convince him to not maul someone?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry, this has been a wonderfully strange 3 days? Has it been 3 days?
3, 4. Who knows? When was the party?
The 21st.
What day is it now?
The night of the 25th.
So it's been about 4 days.
Right. So we ran into Reyna. We asked questions. We went to speak with Sage, Anna. Forgot her last name.
Estelle.
Estelle. Sage, Anna, Estelle.
Ooh, did you find out more about your dreams? Alexander?
Anderson.
Anderson.
And
I'm trying.
yeah, I did. I'm gonna go there tonight, and she's gonna help me with them.
Aw, I thought we were all staying with Andrea tonight.
I don't
Change
think
plans.
we can stay in this room.
Also, Andrea's gonna speak up and say, besides, I have to sleep with my mom tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Forgot
right,
about
the
that.
magnate said that we can stay as Princess Andrea's guards.
Oh,
I mean, change of plans. I'm doing my own thing tonight.
Okay.
I'd just be wary if I were you.
Weary of what?
My dad doesn't fully.
Oh, if you want to ask questions of sages, you could also add something to the letter I'm sending my dad. He's from a different chantry than Sage Anna, so maybe he'd have different information.
Yeah. Can you bring these up? I guess I will mark the same kind of points of like, I am for some reason remembering things that I've never experienced.
Wait. You can't remember those things as you try to recall
No,
them.
she said I wanted to forget, not that I would forget.
No, she told you forget your dreams.
You know, she
Well,
said
You know
you'd
that
want
like
to
those were
forget
a
them.
cup. I want to forget them. Also, she can only affect my memories from that day. I had not had a dream for like the last 2 days, so she can't erase those.
Not
Oh,
unless she
yeah.
casts a high
She
level
told you you're
slot.
going to bury the rest of the information. Yeah.
Yeah, she
have to
hasn't
cast
done
it
that
in a
yet.
higher level slot. Yeah. Which she used on
So-
Anderson.
Aha,
so-
damn spoiled.
Alexander, so... Alright,
Well-
so... yeah, you do loosely remember them, and the ones that are coming, gosh, you just hope they don't come.
Yeah, no, it's like they're kind of painful to remember.
You did seem pretty freaked out about liking a boy.
I did what?
Seemed pretty freaked out about liking a boy.
What boy?
The Shatterer in your dreams. You know, you've been talking to Stora about him all week.
Well, I'm gonna look at Kenneth. Kind of.
Do we have a sheet
I
of
mean-
paper and a pen? We need to write down this. No. In case we
Yeah.
questionable memory.
Don't trust that smell.
Asu Andrea is going to roll a Arcana check, stopping and inspecting, and say, "Oh gods! On the way over, did you get ambushed by Donaganya in disguise? I'm gonna hurt that woman."
No.
Asu Andrea grunts some
Lumilia's
words.
whole face just sours, like, if I see Donaganya again.
Lumilia and Asu Andrea begin hissing. It's like, she's not even here! Guys, calm down. You know what? I'll roll a check for Maria. Maria begins hissing too.
Fuck yeah!
As both Asu Andrea, Maria, and Lumilia get lost in destructive thoughts.
Mm.
Oh, no. Don't trust that smell.
Oh,
Don't.
this might help. I'm gonna cast guidance on Anderson. Have some guidance.
Call him Little A.
Oh,
That way you
what?
pick either one.
Oh no, the messing up your names is in character, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That is 100% Lumilia.
You guys guidance on Anderson for what?
Yeah. Anyone else want guidance?
No, like, what do you want? What are you doing it for? Because
Oh, just in general. I'm just giving him some guidance.
Oh.
You know that only lasts for like 6
minute.
seconds, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep casting it on you. It's a cantrip. I can just sit there with my hand on you until something sticks.
Oh,
I will
right.
rule. There's a verbal component to it. Lumilia has to be, actually sitting there and like.
Okay,
guiding.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, right. Anderson, actually, do you want to tell them your little trick?
Yeah, no, I can do this now, and I don't know why, and I just shoot another blast.
Yeah,
Hey, that's my
that.
stuff.
Died. I wasn't thinking.
What broke? Hold on, I have mending.
Anything important. Here we go.
can you rule it that it was that it hit me?
I'll roll a separate percentage die for
No,
that.
I would not aim it at my friend.
Yeah. It did not hit anything important.
Okay. Got mending if we need it.
Oh,
I
boy.
picked it up because I know our habits.
Hey, I can do this now. Fires off and destructive
This is like,
blast
no,
of energy.
that's an,
Yeah, so
We
I'll just
broke
point
a
at it.
carriage, we broke
just-
a window.
I'll just point at that.
Oh.
That. Yeah.
A guard's
Oh.
gonna open the door and say, lords, ladies, we heard a rumbling. Is everything okay?
everything's fine.
It's
Someone tried to
fine.
cast magic. Someone just learned magic and got excited.
They're gonna whisper and she can do that without the spell book.
No,
Well,
Come on,
no,
princess.
don't.
no.
Did Anderson say he's closing the door?
What?
No.
Oh,
I mean, you don't need a spellbook for cantrips.
no, you
don't know
don't. They
that.
don't know how magic works.
Yeah, they don't know how magic works. That's why I said someone got excited with magic.
Yeah.
As the
Right.
princess's new guards, it's important that we expand our skills.
They're going to nod and say, "All right, carry on," and they close the door.
Cool. That's awesome! Anderson.
I was just gonna sit down in a corner, just.
How'd you get magic? My dad made me study forever for it.
I don't know. I just woke up and all of a sudden I could do it. I'm actually kind of freaking out. I've never done magic in my life.
Maybe
Never-
it's the kid in your dreams?
The only magic I know is that of nature. I can't really help you there. That spell
Do you
doesn't.
believe in a god a lot? Because that's how I get my magic.
I believe the gods exist, and but I haven't pledged any allegiances to anyone.
Anderson,
Maria's going to speak up and say, "Maybe you should stop sleeping. Doesn't seem like that's doing any good for you."
How do I not sleep?
That's kind of a necessity.
Hmm.
Anderson, when did you discover you could talk to people?
When I discover what?
Talking to people's minds.
When I was really little,
Oh, shoot, yeah, that's magic.
and I started. I was having thoughts about.
Wait, you
A
can talk
girl-
into people's minds? Maria speaks up. So Andrew whispers, "Most cursed."
That was my response too, Maria.
I forgot that she hasn't been with us for this, but I will psychically answer yes to her.
She's gonna swat at the air and say, "It's so weird, stop!"
Sorry.
You get used to it.
I
over
forgot.
time.
I forget that it makes people uncomfortable. I use it for party tricks these days.
Well, regardless, guys, I think we need to go. The four of us were discussing. Let's go get some drinks.
For those of us that can't go.
Yeah, also Andrew is gonna say, "Grounded."
We'll bring you back something.
No.
What is the drinking age?
The
Hold
drinking
on.
age is we don't really care. Just
What
go.
is the drinking age?
Alexander's gonna open the door to one of the guards. Is there any chance we could get a couple bottles of wine?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Yes, a bunch of boys in the princess's room drinking wine.
Drinking wine. This can't go wrong.
And we just told him we're her guards.
As the guards are actually
we
debating
were-
this, I did roll a die, and that has happened now. So as the guards are debating this, it's like, you open the door, and they're like, as Oro is stepping around the hallway and into the room, says, "Step aside." They're going to say, "Yes, Lord Regan." Oro steps into the room. And,
You know he's gonna move over to Maria's side.
yeah, he's going to look at all of you and say, "You all are a lot of trouble."
Are a lot of
So
trouble
are
or
you.
in a lot of trouble? There's a difference in context.
Oro,
Hey, we disappeared for a few hours. You disappeared for a few years.
Oro's going to hold up a hand and say, "I own that. Nevertheless, I've talked your mother off the ledge." He looks at Aswandra and says, "You can roam around the palace again." She's going to say, "The entire palace?" Nods and says, "The entire palace." She's going to, whew, things are back to normal. All right. As for the rest of you, Oro is going to say, Ariana told me, or my wife told me, that it wasn't a kidnapping, it was an escape. We're so strict on her, and truth be told, I wouldn't be if I didn't have to. If she could have even even an inch more of freedom, I'd grant it to her. The world's just so dangerous out there for her, and until we can make it safer, I just want to keep her protected for then. Please understand that.
We do.
He's going to raise his hand and say, "This isn't a discussion. And think about it, and think about what you've done today." So Andrea, come with me. She's going to say, "Why?" Well, you forced your grandmother to meet with your mom, and I'm not about to sit through this clash of titans alone. She's
I understand him very well.
going to nod and say, "Oh, all right. I guess you guys get drinks without me." Oro's going to say, "What?"
Don't worry about it. Have fun.
Just some juice.
Oro rolls, "Are these kids a bad influence on my daughter?" check. Yes.
The answer is yes.
Sir, I am 22. I'm gonna get.
I have been a wonderful influence on Maria, in my opinion.
That's right, and that's a dungeon master thing, because Oro wouldn't
Just
forget
last session, I convinced her to run away from home.
Maria, and Oro's going to say, "Maria, would you like to meet your grandmother?" Maria is going to bite her lip and shake her head and say, "No, it doesn't seem my place." Oro's gonna look a little bit uncomfortable and say, "All right, I'm not gonna push you. Fit in on
But
your own
also,
time."
I don't want to deal with your grandmother alone either.
Wait a second, Maria's met her. And she's gonna say, "Wait, the lady who talked at our table? The Nazram officer?"
Yeah, that's who they're going to meet.
Mhm.
Ooh, cute boy. Maria re-rolls that check now with new parameters.
Oh no.
You cute boy. What?
Weston.
He's
She's
into Weston.
making googly eyes.
Can I support this match in good faith? She's trying to depose. Maria, keep in mind this is a political meeting.
Mhm.
Hey, if anything, you might find her. You might find Soul Sorn this way.
Yeah. Maria is going to just kind of like look at her clothes and everything. As you know, she's still kind of dressed in her commoner's garb. As you know, this morning she was traveling around with Corwin. She's gonna say, "Yeah, before I meet him again, I want to adjust to this new life. I don't think I will." And Laura's going to say him. Maria's going to say, "Oh, I mean her." And in any case, Ora's going to say, "Well, come on, they're already getting together." He gestures for Ostrander to go. Stradora is going to stand up and say, as emissary of Lil Nagai, on behalf of Order Captain Sunstringer, I do believe if it's involving Nazaran and discussion of succession of your company, I should be privy to these talks. Oro's going to gesture and say, you can make your case to the magnate, but I won't permit you or deny you that right. Stradora is going to follow behind them. Oro and Aswandria leave.
We'll meet up with you later, Stradora.
She's going to turn and say, you guys get drunk off your asses and need somebody to bail you out. I'll help you, but I'll complain the whole time about it.
Good. We have a dynamic.
Stradora sighs and skulks off.
I have no idea if Lemilia's drank before.
I know for a fact Claw has because of one of his uncles. And that was a strange trip.
Okay, Brandon, high or low?
Hi. What am I choosing?
Okay, Lemilia has never drank.
Alright. Lumilia, stepping down from her position in the chantry, getting drunk the same night. That's the least disciplined member of the Chantry of Discipline I've ever seen.
We are such...
I left the Chantry of Discipline to avoid discipline. What do you expect?
That's the quick, didn't think this through logic we expected you.
Alright.
Should we really be getting drunk in the print?
No, but we're teenagers. Let's do it anyways.
What was that persuasion check on the guards? I don't think it was ever rolled.
I never got to it because I will do it right now.
Guards are gonna be kind of walking off down the hallway. If the princess is in this room, there's no reason for them to stay here, and yeah.
They don't gotta do anything for us.
There's really no reason to be here.
Yeah, as you open the door to like ask them for a drink, you see them kind of. Like,
and actually, we're literally about to leave for a bar.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, actually, you don't have to do that.
Well, I was saying get the wine so that way we didn't have to leave and we could drink with Ozzy.
Well,
Now I gotta find another way.
So what does Alexander do or say?
Well, if they're leaving,
I mean, they are leaving. They can't technically decline your requests.
so about those bottles.
Oh god.
Are we just rating her pancake? We're really abusing the princess's friendship at this point.
You know it.
Oof.
They're gonna turn around and say, yes, my lord, we'll send a servant. And they are gonna. It's like, I knew we should have left earlier. Once the consort regent came, said to her, and they, you guys,
mumble grumble.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys cool with leaving there, or do you want?
Oh no, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. That way, when Rob joins us next session, we don't have to skip.
Can't wait to have my memories erased. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I get out of that without breaking character?
I am surprised a little bit that I'm surprised a little bit that more questions haven't been raised about Anderson. It's just like nobody's questioning.
Nobody's asking this, so finally, like, Anderson's like, I'm gonna go, like, can we trust her? And like, oh, good enough for me.
Right, no, and it's the sad thing is, again,
we didn't ask Claw. We should have asked Claw beforehand.
Right, because Claw was the only one that knew her relatively well.
Yeah, and I feel like she didn't have to do anything to stop Claw because she stifled Claw well enough. Of just like, you're asking me about hideously evil arcane lore, like I'm just gonna tell your dad. Like, oh yeah, I'll find a scholar who can lead you there, and I'll send them to your father, son. And then it's just like Anderson and Alexander come asking the same stuff, and it's like, this is things you guys definitely don't need to dabble in.
Right, and oh god.
At least from her perspective, you know? So
I mean, she's right. We are kids. Now, whatever she's doing it to cover up the past, which I think she is, okay, rephrase that. She's absolutely covering up the past. The question is it for her own nefarious deeds?
Yeah.
Or is it for her to gain more knowledge that she didn't already have for some reason?
Possibly both?
Is literally a fiend for knowledge.
Right, and that's why it's just like, Claw trusts her, but doesn't fully trust. It's like, don't trust the smell. Don't trust the smell.
So, let's do experience for tonight. I actually made a bingo card for your group. I didn't post the other bingo cards on Patreon this past session, so just keeping in equity and fairness. I'm not going to do that for you guys. I'm just going to put it in your channel, and then we can do bingo after the session. So let's see. Here is Nobles episode 4. Okay, so major storyline experience tonight. Oh yeah, Anderson. Definitely the knowledge relating to Amirian. There was a connection tonight that Anna told you guys. Is that Amirian stretched over to parts of what is now Ardor Serai, and these lands were once a part of it. And the things that you guys are dealing with might have intentionally been buried. What else?
Have been intentionally and buried.
Yeah. What else? Oh, I'm gonna give you guys minor experience. No, you know what? I'll give you major experience for Lumilia with that check with the magnate of just like look how silly she's being. It's like, no, she brought guards. Like, she brought us. And it's like, oh yeah, you're a Sagite and you're a Sun Ordeer, so you guys are actually very capable. Then
Like, I guess that
Lumilia's
checks
like,
out.
actually, I'm not a Sagite. Who would have thunk?
You're a Stagite at the time.
She threatened to use my own father against me. I'm not about that.
Yeah. Let's see. There was. So I'm gonna give Lumilia actually personal story experience too, as Lumilia's personal story with Maria and helping her kind of find her place in the world is advancing, and Lumilia's own journey of finding her own place in the world. I'm gonna give.
You mean ditching her position and becoming a chef?
Yeah. There is a old trope and cliche I love in fantasy novels of the wise chef who is just like, cooking a meal at a campfire or something, and it's just like, oh, thank you for all of this wisdom. What did you used to do? And it's like, oh, I used to be a priest. It's like, wait, what? And now you're cooking. It's like, I got a passion.
I used to be a Sagite of Soyesa and personal guard to the princess for a bit.
Why did you give that up?
I like food.
Food.
So I'm gonna give minor experience too for the whole party bonding. And did anybody else's personal story progress tonight?
If anything, my story regressed.
Oh, you guys found out Kenneth's curse, the curse of unluckiness. Let's see. So I'm gonna say all in all for tonight, 450 experience. I'm gonna give Jackal definitely inspiration tonight.
I already have inspiration, so I'll take the extra XP.
No, it's not extra XP. We're rolling it on that inspiration table. So you can have 2 instances of this inspiration. Because, it's random. And oh god, it's such a hard. Okay, here, I'll ask you guys. Do you want me to decide between Alexander and Lumilia, or would everybody just prefer another tier of experience?
Another tier of experience.
All right, so no inspiration tonight. Really good role play all around, and I'm going to give you guys another major tick of experience. So in total for tonight, 600 experience.
Actually, hold on.
I was going to say, go ahead and give it to Willow.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
We can go with experience. That's fine.
No. 450 experience. Final call.
And inspiration
Willow
for Willow.
and Jackal get inspiration tonight. There we go. And I will roll that for you guys on my macro if I have that.
Where do you put inspiration?
Oh, God, no. No, I deleted
What?
all of this stuff out of Roll20.
Oh, no.
And I didn't
Oh, no.
delete the macros that it added from the book. But we're fine. All of my macros are here. I just have like hundreds of macros if anybody's looking at the stream now to go and delete. For the audience, I did a goof and I accidentally added an entire source book into this group, and I didn't know what it was going to do. Rather than making easier links in the compendium, it added everything as tokens, characters, macros, tables, and I've had to go through and delete all of it so it doesn't lag down the game. But here we go. First one is for Jackal. Second one is for Lumilia. All right. So, as an action, you guys can use, normal inspiration doesn't take an action. Yeah, actually, it's not an action for either of those. And you can use it, expend it, and get those bonuses when needed. It has one use. All right, and your next session is going to be on the 9th of May. And if need be, we can reschedule. You guys want to do bingo on stream, or you want to do it off stream?
Off stream.
Off stream.
Okay.
All right. So everybody watching, thank you for watching. If you want to join in the shenanigans with Bingo,
If you want
definitely-
to see the bingo, you have to join the Discord.
yeah, join the Discord. Join the Discord.
Or become a Patreon member.
Yeah, or that, which means I have to start posting them in the Patreon again. All right.